In this video, we're going to learn about VIPM Pro Team Package Repositories. This is a feature that helps teams share their packages of LabVIEW tools and code reuse libraries over the network. Let's see how this works. VIPM's Package Repositories feature is very flexible and provides a lot of options for sharing packages over a network. We're going to learn about a simple setup of a team repository using network file sharing. With this simple setup using network file sharing, the first step will be to pick a location on a network file server. For example, my server in a shared drive, some folder, and then my repository. We will create a repository at that location using VIPM and publish packages to the repository. Then we'll share the repository location with our team so they can subscribe and/or publish to the repository with VIPM. The first step is to pick a location on a network file share. Before we dive into that, let's talk briefly about security. The first thing we need to make note of is that a network administrator will set up the authentication and access permissions to the repository folders and files. Often, in a corporate network environment, there will already be a network server and share set up for you and your team with the correct permissions. After watching this and attempting to create a repository, you may want to review this with your IT department to make sure it's set up and working the way you'd like. Users who will be publishers to the repository and the creator of the repository will need to be able to write to the repository folder and files. Subscribers or users who are downloading and installing packages simply need to be able to read the repository folders and files. They don't actually need write permissions. Well, that's all there is to it in this relatively simplistic view of network file sharing security. Again, please have a conversation with your IT department to review this and make sure that your setup meets your needs. We're now going to dive into step 2. We're going to create a repository at a shared location on the network using VIPM, and we'll publish some packages for our team. Here we have VIPM Professional. We can see lots of packages that are hosted on the VIPM Community repository. We can also use VIPM to build packages. We're not going to talk about that right now, but we're just going to assume that we've already built several packages that we want to share with our team. If I scroll up, we can see that I have several unpublished packages, meaning they're not hosted on any repository. These would be packages that I've built on my machine, and I've double-clicked to install them, or somebody's emailed the package to me, or perhaps I've applied a package configuration that had these packages inside them. These packages ended up on my machine. VIPM knows about them and they're cached locally. However, they're not shared in a location that everybody on my team can see and find. Let's go through the process of setting up a shared repository for our team. If we go up to the toolbar, we'll see an icon here which says Open Repository Manager. Let's click that and see what happens. We see a dialog that tells us we have not set up the VI Package Repository system. And in order to use this system, we need to specify a location where all the packages will be stored. This can be local or a network folder. We're going to choose a network folder. Let's click OK and tell VIPM where to create the repository. Let's browse to the network server named Mac. Here we have a home drive. Let's choose that drive. Let's create a new folder named My Repository. And we'll select that folder as the location of our repository. And I'm going to name it My Team Repository. We now see the Repository Manager dialog, and we can see that it's empty. It says, the repository doesn't contain any packages. And we can publish packages by dragging them here into this window from the main VIPM window. We can also drag and drop them here from disk if I have a folder of packages. We can also right-click on any package that's unpublished and choose Publish Package from the menu. Let's take a look at how we can do that. I'm going to go over to the VIPM main window and choose a couple packages that I want to share with my team. For example, this file library. We'll click Continue to confirm, and we see that it gets added. Let's also add error handling, and we'll also add the JKI dialog. Here, I'm going to right-click and choose Publish, and we can see that it sends it over to the repository. What's nice is I can also publish to this shared repository by right-clicking. Even with that dialog not open, it will publish it to that repository. If we reopen the Repository Manager window, we can see that it added those array VIs. We can also right-click and unpublish or deprecate packages. We won't talk about that right now. Okay, let's close this window. Okay, that concludes our demonstration on how we set up a package repository for our team on a network file share and publish packages. Now, let's share the repository location with team members who have VIPM and would like to connect to the repository to download and install packages. This is a different computer than we used earlier to create our package repository and publish packages. This computer is not connected to the repository yet. We can see packages from the VIPM community repository and the NI LabVIEW Tools network. Let's now connect to our team's package repository. What we'll do is we'll open the Options dialog and go to Network. We'll then click the plus here underneath the VI package repository subscriptions. It'll ask us for the location. We'll browse to the folder on the network that we created earlier. We created a folder called My Repository. We'll choose the index.vipr file and hit OK. We'll see that it updates the URL to the repository, and it uses the UNC network file path format //server name / drive name / folder name. Let's click OK. Now, when we click OK, we'll see it checks the network for available packages. It didn't find updates to currently installed packages, but if we scroll down, let's search by repository, we can see these 4 packages in the My Team repository, which were the ones that we published earlier. This means VIPM has successfully connected to the package repository and is able to see all the packages that are published there. Now let's review what we've learned today. We learned a simple way to set up a team package repository using network file sharing. The first step was to pick a location on a network file server. This requires that we know the server name, the drive name, some folder where we want to put our repository, and then to name that folder. The next step is to create a repository at that network location using VIPM and publish packages. We'll then share the repository location with our team so that users can subscribe to the packages and/or publish to the repository with VIPM. This concludes our tutorial on the simple setup of team package repositories using network file sharing.